TV. The program is Hope Alive. Yes, there is hope and the new Nigeria is possible. On a good morning, afternoon, and evening, depending your time zone. Today we are to discuss the things happening in Nigeria, the trending issues precisely. As you know, the breaking news as of today, this evening, is that the Federal High Court has granted the NBAD government protesters 10 million naira each bail. We are talking about people who protested in the streets of Nigeria about hunger. People who could not afford 1 square meal, not 2, not 3. Now they are to be hit with 10 million naira bail. Invariably, the courts, in collaboration with the Chief Bola Tinubu's led administration, have decided that our youth should be in prison for a while. And again, we'll be talking about the issues surrounding the questions that His Excellency Peter Obi has been asking. The marriage between the Abure, Julius Abure and Lamidi Apapa seems to be strengthening the crisis that is in the Labour Party, and His Excellency Peter Obi is asking questions. With this and more, His Excellency Peter Obi has once again addressed the ongoing debate about the removal of oil subsidy. Again, we are going to bring in video that he did with the News Central also. So, but let's concentrate first on these very 3 issues. And with me to have these discussions, I have active citizens on Zoom whom every day devote their time to come join the Obidient Family TV to highlight the issues in Nigeria, bring out their opinions, and way forward for Obedient's listening pleasure. Welcome to Obidient Family TV. It is my pleasure to introduce Mr. Basi and of course Tony Oji and also Lord K, whom every day devote their time to have these discussions with me. You 3 are welcome to the Hope Alive show. But let's start with Mr. Basi. So, Mr. Basi, please tell us your take on the new marriage, the new pact that Julius Abure has formed with Lamidi Apapa. I can see both of them singing solidarity song in different platforms. But for our viewers who had not seen that trending video going around in solidarity, let's first take a listen to their solidarity talk, and then we'll come back to have the discussion and of course what His Excellency Peter Obi had to say about that. Let's the reaction of His Excellency Peter Obi and other obedience. But let's listen to that the pact of Lamidi Apapa and Julius Abure.
On Labour Party, we have decided to save Nigeria. No turning back, no turning back. We have decided to form a party. We have decided for Labour Party. We have decided to save Nigeria. No going back, no going back. Labour Party, Labour Party is forever. Labour Party is our own. Nigeria go better when Labour Party on the road. Labour Party on the road. When Labour Party on the road. Nigeria go better when Labour Party on the road. Labour Party
with all these shenanigans going on with the Labour Party's function of the Abure, and all the people that they have been sending to mainstream media, we've seen the likes of Rabambi, Apapa is hidden somewhere, but they are all in the same pact. But His Excellency Peter Obi has, through his media outlet, has actually given some questions and, of course, answers. And what he responded to the allegations of betrayal made by Julius Abure, of course, the embattled national chairman of Labour Party. The report that is everywhere that we have laid our hands on is that His Excellency Peter Obi, who was accused by Abure and accused also the Alex Oti of Abia State of conspiring against him, Abure. You know, Abure claimed they organized a stakeholders meeting in Umuahia, Abia State, where the former Minister of Finance, Stanbic Usman, was elected as chairperson of the 29-member caretaker committee to resolve the party leadership crisis. Now, in his response, His Excellency Peter Obi, through his spokesperson, Comrade Ibrahim Omar, he said, that is, which is the Peter Obi media outreach, expressed his disappointment with Abure's remark, calling the accusations politically motivated, intended to mislead the public and obedience. He said, in quote, "I'm disappointed but not surprised by the false accusations of betrayal leveled against our principal, Mr. Peter Obi, by Julius Abure, the embattled chairman of the function of the Labour Party." He said, "It is clear that this is a politically motivated attempt to mislead the Nigerian public." The stakeholders meeting of the LP held in Umuahia on Wednesday of last week was meant solely to resolve the lingering leadership crisis and chart a way forward. The decision was not in any way personal. Therefore, the Obidient movement have stand in total solidarity with the actions and decisions of the stakeholders, which have always been guided by a commitment to unity, justice, and transparency. That is coming from Omar. Omar, of course, criticized Abure for misleading the public, as we know, defaming Peter Obi's character. And, of course, he questioned Abure's resistance to leaving his position, which was supposed to end in June, and his readiness to engage in conflict. Now, Mr. Bassi, talking about engaging in conflict, don't you think that Julius Abure has actually told a very bad line, given the fact that even people from the National Assembly, caucus, and the State Assembly, they have all sent out a communique disowning his function of the Labour Party? How long do you think that this will linger, given the fact that His Excellency Peter Obi is actually mute outside of this very response from him about his ignoring them to go ahead? So what are your thoughts on this briefly so that we can proceed to the other persons?
Good evening, Mr. Kanu. Thank you for having me once again. Good evening, fellow panelists, and good day, Obidient, and listeners across the globe. The issue of Abure is it's surprising to see his character coming out. This is his true character, who he is. All along, he was trying to hide that who he really is. And time has proven that you can't hide for so long. And it's very obvious that Abure is acting a script. Whoever wrote that script is best known to him and Lamidi, Apapa, and co. And it's very surprising that the same Apapa that was fighting Abure during the election and after the election, they have suddenly aligned their interests and they are now friends. It clearly shows you that for them to come to that understanding of working together, it shows that the same person that is beating the drum for Apapa is also the person beating the drum for Abure. So they are all dancing to the tune of that drum. And how far he's going to go with this is left to be seen. Because when you begin to create division in the party, create rancor, you should know that you have a minority of people who are just running around.
Chidi, we can't hear you again.
Stands firm with the decision of Peter Obi and Dr. Alex Oti. So let's not miss out of the fact that sooner or later,
I think Kini, we have lost connection with Kini. But before he comes back, let's take Tony. Mr. Tony, I know as of today you spoke so much about. Please go ahead and finish your thoughts. I was going to.
So, like I said, sooner or later, they will come to realize that they are running on a wrong route. They are going on a fruitless journey, and it's like it is better to take the majority of the party and see how they can build that party to become a strong opposition. The ruling party, the right opposition. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kini, right there. Let's quickly jump to Tony. Like I said earlier in the day, you spoke so much about your thoughts about Abure and why Abure needs to, leave the place, and the stubbornness and unwillingness for him to make a U-turn and all of that. Can you briefly give us that your take again, so that the audience, the obedience and active citizens will know also what your thoughts are on this issue, lingering issue?
Okay, thank you. I just have a word or two for Barrister Abure. Looking from the outside, as an obedient and an active citizen, if he's listening, I just want to say, remember the support of obedience. It was the obedient that propped up Labour Party. I'm sure you don't want to go back to the old ways LP, Labour Party, has functioned. Or do you? Because let me remind you, in those days, before the arrival of Peter Obi and the Obidient in Labour Party, it used to be that the state chairmen are handpicked, and then they will wait and see if anybody or if people who are dissatisfied with the other parties, PDP and APC, will come to Labour Party, and you guys will collect their money for the forms and all of that. That's how you make a living, you, the officials. Excuse me. Now, if you want to go back to that era, then you are making a grave mistake. You know, good leaders change when things are not going right in their organizations. They adapt. Even if you are right in your own views, you do things for the benefit of the and interest of the organization you're running. Being stubborn and recalcitrant is not going to help build a formidable Labour Party. Labour Party, with the support of Obidient all around the world, supposed to be by now the envy of all the other political parties. But being stubborn, I am right, it has to be my way, it's not going to help. It has never helped. Please learn from other leaders. Look at President Jonathan, what he did for the interest of Nigeria. He didn't want to fight the presidency, fight for the presidency. He said, okay, I lost. I'm not going to fight it. And then take it. No. Nigeria today is in a dire strait. And LP needs the credible party, different from PDP and APC. And that is what PO has preached. That is what Obedients are preaching. Let us do things differently. Please embrace peace. Reject chaos. Don't let LP disintegrate. It's of no benefit to you or anybody else. What is now is confusion everywhere. And the other parties are just laughing at us. They are laughing because they're saying, oh, Labour Party, you think you are the best, you are the third force. Look at what is going on with you guys fighting amongst yourselves. But remember, Obedients are the core of Labour Party membership. Remove them, then you go back to the old ways. Please, we need a strong Labour Party with a lot of strength, a lot of admiration from Nigerians. We don't need to be like the rest of other parties. We need to be different. And the way to be different is we do things the right way. We follow the right approach in everything we do. It is not about making personal money or being called the chairman, the secretary, but nothing comes out of it. Let us build a formidable Labour Party that Nigeria is looking for. Please.
All right, Tony. Thank you so much for that very one to directly to Julius.
And let me get to Lord K on this. Lord K, you know the crisis in LP, of course, is becoming more annoying by the day because of the integrated sabotage and open insult to our collective and long quest for a political party that will lead the way to good governance. Lord K, today Nigerians are literally weeping because of the pains of hardship, hunger, and poverty, and their hope for a God-fearing and transparent leader is in Labour Party, which is His Excellency Peter Obi, which is the cradle for genuine struggle for freedom, justice, and equity. Now, tell me your thoughts on this on this very crisis, the annoying thing by the day and all of that. What is your thoughts or your advice to Abure at this point?
Yes, good evening, fellow Nigerians. Good evening, Obedients around the world, everyone in the studio and my Zoom panelists. Yes, I would say it's a sorry situation that Abure has actually disintegrated into. It's a situation that I believe will actually come to fruition where things will actually be proven that it is all down to self-interest, self-elevation, and the matter of money. What money can actually do for you. My honest belief on Abure's position today is all down to powers from above, that is like powers from other political parties, and without missing my words, from APC. Now, his affiliation or his now friendly or joint motion with Lamidi Apapa, which of course we all know has been at loggerhead with him all this while, is a true position that yes, something has happened. Abure is no longer working for Labour Party, but what he's doing now is trying to make money for himself via what he can actually get from APC, because I know PDP are not interested in him. The powers from above that has actually said that they are going to deliver Edo State to APC are the ones doing all this, without missing my words. Now, Abure, I believe he's a learned fellow. He's somebody that has actually dealt with the law or understood the law to an extent, but has forsaken everything, all because of cash, all because of Naira. Now the Edo State election is at hand. This is a time where you, as the party, the ex-party chairman, should actually be functional with your party. Be out there promoting the candidate to see that, yes, your party has at least another 2 or 3 states. But now you have been influenced with the power of Naira. You have been influenced by an illiterate. You have been influenced by an entity that doesn't mean well for Nigeria as a whole. All because you want to be in charge. One thing you should understand is your chairmanship is not a life entitlement. Your chairmanship for Labour Party is not something that it's not a birthright. You have a tenure and you have actually served that tenure, and you have actually taken the time to now drag the party back 3 years from when Peter Obi actually joined you guys. You have dragged the party back again now, making Labour insignificant. But I tell you something today, if you do not change your ways, you will be made irrelevant, you will be made insignificant, you will be made unknown to that party within the next 90 days. Within the next 90 days, if you do not change your ways before the caretaker committee, all you are dealing with. If what you are doing right now is still what you're standing for, helping the APC to destroy every other party around the country, wanting to make Nigeria a one-party state, if that is what you have settled for, if that is what you have agreed and they are paying you to do, just like my friend said before, Peter Obi will I mean, he can walk away. He can walk away from Labour Party and be back to the dungeons you came from. And I'll see where you can actually earn a living from. I mean, I listened to the broadcast from Aisha Yusuf yesterday. I listened to everything she said yesterday, and you can tell that that lady is one Nigerian you can recommend to anybody anywhere in the world for transparency and sincerity. Transparency and sincerity. Capacity. Aisha Yusuf, I give you 3 bozas. 3 bozas for you. Because you narrated the accounts and everything, so even I mean, a blind man will understand exactly what you said without even seeing the books. And then you had Abure talking some kind of gibberish, trying to vindicate, implicate innocent people, whereas you are the one that had the problem, that had the corruption issues, that was corrupt in the system, wanting to bring labor down to nonsense during that election by not paying your polling agents.
Okay,
so, gentlemen,
just one question on this, because
talk about the End Bad Governance protesters that were in court today with a fine of 10 million. But before we get to that, I want you just to use 30 seconds to tell me about the question that Peter Obi is asking. Who is Abure fighting right now? Is it fighting Peter Obi, OT, or is fighting the Obedience, or is it a collective fight of all?
He's fighting himself. He's fighting himself. He's fighting himself, not Peter Obi.
Yep. He's fighting
himself. There's nothing he can do about that.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, but before I let you go, let's look at the other trending matter that has to do with the End Bad Governance protesters who were
here today in court, and were given a bail by the Nigerian Federal Court of 10 million naira. What is your take on this?
I mean, that was the joke of the day. That was the joke of the day. I mean, for you to say you want a hungry Nigerian that cannot afford 1 square meal, I mean, forget the square meal, that cannot afford a meal a day, you are now telling him they should bring 10 million naira to bail him for something that is affecting the whole country.
Yeah, but don't you think, once again, don't you think that is connected to trying to deter
protesters from coming out for, for 15th of this September, the Students' Union had already scheduled a protest for 15th. Okay.
Right now. Now, since that is their step, that they want to charge everybody they arrest with, or they want to sentence them, or demand a bail of 10 million, or sentence them to death. Listen, this is why we are now urging the country, urging everybody, all the students, all the civil servants, everybody that is alive in Nigeria, let everybody come out. And then let them arrest how many they want to arrest, and see where they want to put them. And then see the population of the citizens to the police force or whatever force they're bringing out. I think I've been saying this thing for a long time, that Tinubu wants Nigeria to burn down. He wants Nigeria to burn down because his plan for the 1st to the 10th of August that was not allowed to manifest, that is creating that fight between his protesters and the genuine protesters, and the trouble will burn everybody, they will destroy and then he can go back to the World Bank, go back to the Chinese, go back to, all these countries that he's borrowing money from, and say, oh, he needs money to repair Nigeria, to do this, to do that. That was his target, and he's still on that plan. That is why he's coming up with all these unnecessary demands, all these unnecessary conditions, because he wants the country to react.
Yeah, just a little bit of a divert, because there's a breaking news again. David Hundein exposed some things
with the dam happening. He unveils plans of, I think, the Nigerian government through the African office in Nairobi to tilt journalists to presenting false reports about the Meduguri flooding through a $1,000 grant offer, meaning that they are often offering $1,000 grant to people to write a false report about the flooding in in that dam. So I'm just kind of looking at it from that perspective you just mentioned now.
Absolutely, absolutely. This is somebody that's wanting anything and everything to collect money, to collect money. I mean, amidst the situation of Nigerians right now, this man is still going out. This man is still going out to go and borrow $2 billion to do what? To do what? All the money he has borrowed under 1 year, in office, is just about half of what Buhari borrowed for 8 years. What is this man's plan? Is he really a Nigerian that wants the true welfare of that country? Is he really a Nigerian?
Okay, let me get Mr. Bass's perspective on this. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Lucky. Let me get
Mr. Bass's perspective on this. Mr. Bassi, you know, from looking at David Hundeyn's expose, and reading from his tweet, because he sent out this as a tweet, he said, you know, there are 8 or 9 climate NGOs with African offices in Nairobi currently falling over themselves to offer $1,000 grant to some stupid Nigerian journalists to report the flooding in Maiduguri as climate change, tying in an argument against Africa using its own fossil fuels to industrialize. For the record, according to David Hundeyn, here are the facts. He said, this disaster was caused by the collapse of Maiduguri's 40-year-old dam, a dam constructed to shield Maiduguri from seasonal flooding along the Ngada River basin. He said this dam already suffered structural damage due to high seasonal rainfall in 1992 and 94 and 2012. And never received the required maintenance to put it back into ideal operational shape. In other words, this is an infrastructure problem, not a climate problem. It is a problem that will be solved by developing more capacity to build and adequately maintain infrastructure like Europe does. Capacity that comes with cheap energy and industrialization like Europe did. Now, if you are the Olodibruku bastard journalist, this is David Hundeyn's words, in Abuja, that is preparing to submit that $1,000 US grant application to write nonsense for white people and hurt your people in the process, you will contact untreatable genital hypes and suffer until you die. Mr. It's so hilarious. Mr. Bassi, so we now have people who are paying journalists $1,000, which is obviously $1 million plus, going on 2 million naira, to write nonsense about the flooding in Maiduguri, just for Nigerian government or for them to collect money from Europe. What is your thought? And of course, please do also mention the End Bad Governance protesting that actually brought me to this very tweet.
Thank you, Mr. Kanu, once again. It's surprising that Nigeria has degenerated to this level. Now, this government, I remember while Chief Bola Tinubu was he did spoke against the issue of forcing Africans into climate change and agreement. But now, but he has forgotten what he said, that Africa was not going to be part of that agreement or whatever. But here we are align the Western world to force Africa to implement climate change by all manner of means, using foreign influence to influence our journalists to write false report to favor them. Now, this is where we are because of hunger, and then because of high level of corruption in the system. So it's all common affair. It's a rat race. People are just doing things anyhow without recourse to ethical conduct. So this is what we are getting, and it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate because at the leadership level, we don't have that high standard moral. So what do you think is going to happen when the head is bad? Of course, the body is going to be bad. So this is what we are getting. It's garbage in, garbage out. At the
Absolutely.
head is rotten. So the body is also rotten. So it becomes all common affairs. Everybody is struggling for what they can get at the detriment of the country. So this is what we get because we don't have a leadership who can hold their own, who can stand their ground, telling the Western world enough is enough. You cannot degrade our environment by all exploration and all manner of this thing across the African continent. And then you are now coming back to force us into doing, obeying your climate change. This is where we are. So we need to understand that we don't have a strong leadership. And so because of that, we are vulnerable. And that is where we are at the moment. And then back to the issue of the end bad governance, this thing, it's just unfortunate. This clearly shows you. Yes, please.
Yes, Mr. Bassi, yeah, I just wanted to direct on the end bad governance protest. It seems like there is
a concerted effort to keep the end bad governance people in jail for a long time. We had the other day a senior advocate of Nigeria saying that there are plans to keep these youths in prison for as long as 5 months. He was actually calling out Chief Fabemi, who is the Attorney General, to release these young lads. But we have seen things play out in court where 10 million naira, like the man was lamenting, that is what happened, because obviously these young protesters may not be able to raise 10 million naira or even get people with landed property. So it is actually a plot to deter protesting. I mean, okay, let's get your thoughts on this.
Okay, thank you so much. You see, when you see the kind of things going on in our justice system, it makes you wonder if we truly have a justice system.
Correct.
Because you see the kind of order that is coming out of judiciary. It makes you wonder, do we have judges that have humanity, or we have judges who have sold their heart to the devil? How on earth will you get up and ask and give an order that the protesters, innocent protesters, that went about protesting for lack of food, lack of security, bad governance, you are putting them in jail and asking them to go and get 10 million naira for bail? For me, you can as well put them in life imprisonment. That's what it is. Because like the senior advocate said, it just is a plan, is a ploy to put them in jail for 5 months. I can tell you that it's a ploy to put them in jail for eternity. You notice what happened to the NSAS.
Correct.
Since 2020, NSAS protesters are still in cell. Some of them are languishing in various prisons in the country. We're talking about over 2 years.
And you
So
see,
this is
Mr. Kenny,
this is what, yes.
this is why I really think Nigerians are doing nothing to help situations. This is why I really think Nigerians are wasting their time. They are just there, I mean, praying. What will God do when you don't want to do anything yourself? Gone are those days where angels come and do things for you, or you see manna from heaven. You have to go and break those cells yourself, break those prison yards yourself, get these people out.
That's exactly what has to happen. Nigerians needs to come out in mass. Let them put all Nigerians in cell so that we can all occupy the cell. Let them feed us like somebody and you said the other day that if you put he even wants to go to cell because already he, you know, at least he will have peace. He will have at least some few days to sleep. Because when he's in his house, he can hardly close his eyes because of insecurity. So if you put him in cell, there's a guarantee that at least he will have a sound sleep. He
at
will
least
have
1
at
million.
least where nobody will bother him. At least he will have at least a meal. So this is what it is. So I want. It is sad. It is sad that our judiciary, our judges, have sold themselves to the devil and allow this criminal empire to use them to victimize Nigerians. And I want them to understand, you might be a judge today, but there is a judge of all of us.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
There is a judge of all of us.
The Almighty Judge.
So you can think you have the authority today to make certain pronouncements, issue certain order, but there is a judge that supersedes every judges. So let them understand that when you have that opportunity, it's an ample opportunity for you to dispense justice, not to deliver judgment at the expense of justice. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You guys have, thank you so much. Tony, thank you so much. And Mr. Bassi and you guys took so much time.
I love the idea of waking Nigerians up to what is happening and for them to, take the matter into their own hands, because they are really the ones that this hunger is hitting the most. But again, I want to use the words of David Hundeyin, who said that if you are the Orori Bruku bastard journalist in Abuja that is preparing to submit that $1,000 grant application to write nonsense for the white people to hurt your own people in the process, you will contract untreatable genital herpes and suffer until you die. Yes. That will be most that we can take for now. And I know that I can see Tony's hands up trying to also make, but time has really gone. I want to thank our viewers for watching at this very hour. And of course, we promise to bring you some more of the things that are happening in Nigeria, especially as the Sowore has called for the End Bad Governance protesters for the Fearless October, and the National Union of University students who had also vowed to proceed on their own protest for 15th of September, and the NLC also having closed door meetings to see how they could be able to dialogue with the government in bringing down the fuel price, which obviously will end up in the strike. So strike action, protest action looms in Nigeria. We'll continue to follow up every day to bring you highlights of how it all goes down. Thank you so much for watching. Like, share, subscribe so that more active Nigerians and Obedients will know what is happening. Thank you. Until tomorrow when we come your way again. Bye for now.